Sunday right here in the Lone Star State. Nice. Well, again, I'm going to reintroduce myself to you. I'm Nick, but I'm going to introduce you to who you really are here to see, an 8-time NBA All-Star, NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist. And guess what? He got some real good news this week. He'll be forever living in Springfield of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Let's say hello to Superman, Dwight Howard.
Woo, what up, y'all?
Dwight, what's up, man? Welcome to AT&T.
Oh,
Wow.
woo, Lord, let me get some. Can I get some dap to some people?
Absolutely. Go out there and show some
man?
love
What's
out
up?
there. Yeah.
Hey.
I want you to think about that high five. That's a different high five.
Yeah, that's a
Now
high
it's
five.
it's a Hall of Fame high five now.
What's up, y'all? Okay, I'm gonna come back. Woo, Lord.
Oh, Dwight. Now, we already know it's been a big week, but we're going to hop in the AT&T time machine for a second and take it back to before you even existed. We'll talk about
Wow.
your mom, Cheryl, Dwight Sr., your parents,
Yes.
and it wasn't easy. Your mom has called you her miracle baby because 7 times she had to go through some very painful news before you were delivered onto this planet.
Yes. Well, before I got here to this planet, my mom, she lost 7 children. And my dad would always tell us this story about the struggle that they both had with her trying to have kids, and how much they prayed for me and, wish that everything I wanted would come in his life. And I made it here, and I'm just so thankful for life. And that's why every day I'm excited and I'm happy just to open my eyes and see light. It's just amazing.
And you are here. Let's talk about
Yes.
those amazing parents. Obviously, your namesake, Dwight Sr., your mom, Cheryl, no stranger to the game of basketball herself. So you had to come in to learn some things from her, I'm sure. And what it was like on that childhood journey, eventually going to Southwest Atlanta Christian
sir.
Academy, getting it done there, class president, choir. So off the court, you're doing lots of things preparing you for this crazy life as well.
Man, growing up was a lot of fun for me. Every day I just thought about what I wanted to be when I got older. Whether it was an astronaut, all these different things. And then basketball fell into my lap. And once I developed the love for the game, the only thing I wanted to do was play basketball, get to the NBA, and preach God's word. And my parents, my dad, he did an amazing job of just pushing me every single day. I went to him at 10 years old, and I said to him that I wanted to go to the NBA, be the #1 pick in the draft, and I would sacrifice whatever it is I had to sacrifice to get to that place. And he made a sacrifice as well to make sure he did his part and I did my part. And he was my first accountability partner, so I'm very thankful for my father.
And you talk about that, it did lead you to 2004. If we think about it now, 21 years ago, your
Man.
name is called the first overall selection in the NBA draft. And to talk about the 2004 draft, we should talk about the 2003 draft when you talk about LeBron
Right.
James,
Hello.
Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. And you think about that time, those 2 decades that you spent in the National Basketball Association with some of the greatest talent, the highest concentrated talent in the basketball game
History.
ever to exist.
Yes.
Battles every day. And we talked to Carmelo a few days ago. He talked about, man, we're teenagers. And not only that, we're going to a team. This isn't a team that just hoisted the trophy or cut down the nets. This is a
Yes.
team that was struggling. That's why we're going there.
Yes.
So the weight of that franchise, Orlando, prime example. What was that like going there with the expectations so high, being so young?
I mean, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I was 18 years old. Only thing I knew was play basketball and have a good time. And I'm not understanding the whole dynamic of being a franchise player, to be the face of a team, to be one of the faces of the league, all these different things. My only concern was, how can I dunk on everybody and block all the shots and have as much fun as possible? And, it's difficult at a young age. And as you get older, our lives, everything we went through, people can see it. They can see the good, the bad, the ugly, all these different things. And, I'm just really glad that after all my years of basketball, I have my mind, my health, and I'm still able to, play if I wanted to. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, and that basketball journey from a teenager, as you matured in the NBA, it wasn't easy. As you mentioned, that smile was always beaming, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of emotions and tears behind that smile as well.
my
and,
God.
and you're human. And a lot of times the human element gets taken out of that because they see the 2008 Superman, slam dunk champion. They see this guy who's larger than life, literally on and off the court, but you're still human. You still have skin that can be broken and you're
Yes.
still hurt.
Yes. I can understand, we look up to, I looked up to the Shaqs and Kareems and all these people. So we see them like, man, they're the superheroes. They're doing all these crazy things. All of us looked at Kobe like Batman. You know what I'm saying? So I have an understanding of that. But we go through so much as athletes, to sacrifice for our kids, our family, the people that we truly love. It's a sacrifice. The time that it takes to practice, to mentally lock in for every game, it takes a lot out of us. And we do it with all the people that we love in mind, not just our families, the friends, but all the fans. When we step out on the court, when we're playing, we the people in the stands, they get me going. It's like wings. So when I'm at these games and even the boos, I'm like, yeah, more boos, yeah, more cheers. It really just, I can feel everybody's energy. So I'm like, man, thank you for even coming out here, watching us play this game that we love. This is the way that we show the world our art. This is how we show God how much we love him through what we do, with how we keep up with our bodies, with how we play the basketball game. This is the way we show everybody else our art, just like an artist would make a painting or a dancer would do a certain type of dance. Our dance is basketball. My dance is blocking shots, dunking on people, smiling, doing the nay-nay, and having a good time. That's how I show God and everyone else. I'm just thankful for this life that I have. So it's amazing.
As you talk about that life, we'd be remiss to not talk about 2008, representing the country that you were born in and represent in Beijing.
Yes.
What did it feel like when that gold medal was placed around your neck?
I wanted to bite it to see if it was real gold first, because everybody else always bite it, so I had to bite it first. But just to be able to represent a whole country, that is an amazing, amazing honor. And at 18, 19, 20, I'm not even having a deep understanding of what that is because I'm so young. But as I'm getting older, I look back at all these moments like, wow, it's so many people that live in America. And I'm wearing that red, white, and blue for all of these people. This is major, you know what I'm saying? So, when you're young and you're in the thick of everything, you don't really see it. But when the smoke starts to settle, you're like, oh, wow, that was pretty cool. I played in Beijing in the Olympics in front of 100,000 people. I was in this big the opening ceremony where they're saying everybody's country. Unfortunately, United States is one of the last countries, you guys. So we were sitting in the back a long time waiting. But it was a lot of fun just going through that whole experience of being in the Olympics, training for the Olympics, the sacrifice that all the athletes had to make. It's a 3-year sacrifice for us. Our summers, we don't get time at home. We don't get time to spend with our families, our kids, and people that we love. We got to train. We got to get ready for the Olympics. So it is a big sacrifice. But in the end, it's a gold medal for everybody. It's not just us, it's for everybody.
And along those same lines, as we fast forward to 2020, the world was going through some very difficult and unknown times.
Yes.
And ironically for you, it took you back as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. So right where it all started in Orlando. But that bubble. But to get that NBA championship, especially at that time, it was so much bigger than basketball for the fans viewing. We needed some sense of normalcy. We had no idea what was going to be happening.
Correct.
And you provided that in the bubble and getting that championship, knowing that was the one thing that was missing from that highly decorated career. And now you have that. In fact, you have it right there. We can see it right there.
The bubble ring.
Blinded by it right there.
Is this the bubble ring? People say it's the bubble ring, and I just laugh like, how? It doesn't say bubble on it anywhere. It just say Lakers. It says champion. It represents all our Laker fans and everyone the whole world was going through something at that moment. It was not just something that was happening in the United States. This was a pandemic. This was all over. And we are inside of containment playing basketball. And we're away from our families, we're away from our friends, our kids. And at that time in my life, personally, my son, his mom had just passed. And so me leaving him at that moment was very difficult because I didn't want to leave him by himself. So going in the bubble, my mindset was, man, I got to do this. All the marbles on the table. There's nothing left but this championship right here. And I was so dedicated and so focused, not like I haven't been my whole career, but just being in that bubble, I think for all the players, it's a chance to really like get along and kind of like find yourself, find what it's going to take for you to be that player or that person. So being in that bubble, it was good that we came out with a championship, but it was a lot for all of us mentally.
And the basketball story doesn't end there in the NBA because Beijing is where you got the ring, so you might as well get pretty close to that and go to Taiwan. And you talk about that experience openly. The basketball experience is one thing, but the culinary and the culture, what was that like for you going to Taiwan and playing with the Taiwan Leopards?
It was amazing playing in Taiwan. The reason why I loved it so much because I love to travel. The food was great, and it really blessed me to play in front of fans who've never had that opportunity to see NBA player play in person. And it was just so humbling to go and play these games, and the arenas are sold out. The fans are amazing every single day. I'm walking out and seeing fans all over. Just felt at home. I felt that peace, and it was an awesome place to be. After being over there, I started to want to learn how to cook more. They started calling me Hot Pot Howard while I was over there because I enjoy making hot pot. But it just really made me want to come back and just express so much to the fans here how beautiful our world is, and if I could help provide people with more ways to see our beautiful world, then I want to do that.
And with that, you've had plenty of bites of foie gras, uni, and you took a big, big bite out of life. And Los Angeles Times article, before we let the fans say hello to you, we know this is a special week. Naismith Hall of Fame, forever you will live in Springfield, Massachusetts, amongst the greatest to ever be involved with the great sport of basketball. But you told TJ Simers, I dream big, but my dreams come true. And they have come true, and now it's time to deliver some dreams for our fans right here. Let's give it up for the Hall of Famer, Dwight Howard. AT&T, connecting changes everything. Dwight, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.